Hi everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. So my name is Lorraine. I'm coming to you from Kent in the UK. For those of you that are joining me for the first time, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that are joining me for the first time, this channel is predominantly about my crafting experiences. I like to share with you the projects that I've been working on, projects that I've finished, and any new crafts that I'm getting into and stuff that I have bought that relates to any of the crafting that I'm currently doing or learning. So I hope you find something here in this channel or in this video that you enjoy seeing and hearing me talk about, or maybe you do those crafts as well, so it's a common interest. This time round I have cross stitching, crocheting and a little bit of knitting to share with you. I have done a tiny bit of diamond painting, but I can't get to the room that that's in because my daughter's doing a lesson down there, so I'm going to skip that this time round, and so it's just going to be crocheting, cross stitching and a little bit of knitting. So let's jump straight into finished objects. So my first finished object is the Dimensions stocking. So I bought this stocking kit, I don't know, around about October, November time. I decided to have a go at it. I think I mentioned last time that I had initially thought it was a cross stitch kit, but in fact it is a tapestry or needlepoint kit, but it uses cross stitch threads. So it has a slightly different effect. This one is called Freezin Season. It's done on 14 mesh canvas, and it says 100% wool yarn included for hang up. Yes, let's just ignore that. That's the design, Freezing Season, and I was drawn to that because of the cute factor. And it's by Dimensions. So I have finished it. I'm so pleased with myself because I've never done, the last stocking that I did, it wasn't a full coverage stocking, so the whole design was not stitched. It was like partially stitched and partially not stitched. And that one was a cross stitch one. That one was Holiday Hooties. I'll try and insert a picture up there so you can have a quick look at that. But yeah, so I did that one. That one was a partial. This one is full coverage. However, this one, because it's needlepoint, it is half cross stitches, which otherwise I think known as tent stitch. And it uses, I think they use, if I remember rightly, 6 strands of cotton per cross. So they're blended threads. I don't think there were any blended threads, blended colours with this. It was just solid colours, no blends, and it was just half cross. It took a long time to do. Don't get that wrong. It did take a long time to do it, but I think, or maybe, I don't know. Did it take a long time? So I started it in November and I finished it just after the last video. So what, that was February. Is that a long time? I mean, it took a while, but I'm really pleased with it because this is how it turned out. So I've not only did I finish the design, I think I got, last time I showed you, I had done all the stitching, but I hadn't done the back stitching. So for example, here the yellow bits are back stitched, and the little detailing around the nose and on the hat, and I think the French knots are all kind of done afterwards. And I think last time I showed you the stocking, it didn't have any of these details on it, and then of course it didn't have the name of who it's going to. So yeah, that is all completed. And I followed again with the last stocking that I did, the Holiday Hooties one. I watched a video by, oh gosh, what is her name, Little Yellow House Craft, something like that. I will find the info and try to remember this time to put it in the description box below the video. I totally forgot last time and I wasn't in the mood to, or in the right headspace to do that, so I apologise for not doing that last time round. I'll make a concerted effort to do that for this video. So please look in the description box below the video to see information about where things come from, who the designers are, well, just links basically, as much info as I can put down there. But yeah, So I finished that, and to make it up, the instructions are in the kit, so everything comes in the kit, but I wanted to do what I did with my last stocking and to do a quilted backing, and so I quilted it myself. I had some fabric that and some wadding, otherwise known as batting, I think you call it in the US, and I quilted the fabric myself and then attached it to the back of the stocking. Like I said before, it's not perfect. I'm not a sewer as such. I don't do a lot of sewing, so I'm kind of like a now and then sewer, or sewist, as some people like to be described. So I did my best with this, and I've attached the thingy, the hook hanger thing. That this comes with the. I'm really talking in little bits, aren't I? The wool for this hanger comes as part of the kit, and you plait it. Hopefully you can see that. You plait it and then attach it with a kind of a tassel. So I've done that. I've the felted, not felted, I'm so sorry. The quilted backing is not part of the kit. It comes with a felt backing, but like I said, I like to do the quilted backing, and I followed a tutorial by another YouTuber, and I love how it turned out. I kind of followed the tutorial. I didn't do it exactly to the way she did, because I did mess up in places, but I'm not going to share with you where I messed up. But anyway, so that's what it looks like. I'm really pleased with it, and I have bought a couple more to do, which I will share with you in incoming if the video is not too long. So that is my first finished object. The next thing I finished up, oh, do you know what? I'm looking for it like it's here, and it's not. Was the Scandi Throw blanket. So, did I show you that last time? No, I didn't. So the Scandi Throw blanket looked like this. But I was making it for a baby. So it's by Aimee Stewart, and it's a crocheted blanket. This is actually a throw, but as I said, I made it for a baby blanket, and I have since gifted it to the recipient. So I will insert a picture up here of what it looked like, what it looks like, and they absolutely loved it. So I used, let me find the yarn, sorry, they are here. I used a mixture of yarns, and I have a couple of the yarn labels. So I used Sheepy's, not sure if I pronounced that properly, I've heard so many different pronunciations of that. Sheepy's Colour Crafter yarn, that's the label. I used the colour Amaland. I used the colour, what is that, Eeld. I used, what's the other colour? I think I've tossed the label. Give me a second. Urk, U-R-K, and then I used a white yarn, which is a Stylecraft Special double knit yarn in white. And so those were the colours that I used for that blanket. I'm really pleased with how that turned out. As I said, I have done that one before. It went down well the last time, and this time I just used different colours, because the first one was for a girl, so I used lots of pinks, and then this time round we don't know what sex the baby's going to be, and so we have, well, the parents-to-be decided they wanted greens and turquoisey colours, so that's what I used, and they are happy with the blanket. So yeah, keeping on the baby theme, because I had so much yarn left over from the blanket, I decided to try and use up that yarn and make some baby knits. So again, I just recently gifted these to the parents-to-be, and so I don't have the physical items with me. But the first item that I knit up was the Snuggly DK cardigan. So it's this one here, the one with the hood. Because it was a, oh, hang on, the number's on there, 1782, and it's by Sirdar. You can see that. I've knit this so many times before, but I adapt the pattern and make it work for me to knit in the round for the body until I get to the sleeves, and then I knit front and back separately, and then when I do the sleeves I knit the two sleeves in tandem on separate needles in the round using smaller circulars, just because it just goes quicker for me, and I like the way that I don't have to seam anything up. So that's what I did with this. The yarn is a DK weight yarn. Again, it was using the yarns from the blanket, so all of the sheepies yarns and the white Stylecraft Special DK yarns. And I'll insert a picture of what that finished cardigan looked like. So I ran out of yarn, kind of after doing the body. I realised that I didn't have enough of the light green yarn left, so I then decided that I was gonna have to think about what I'm going to do with this cardigan to make it work. So I decided to use, I was going to use the leftover green and do the hood, but there wasn't enough yarn for that, so I just had to mishmash, you know, just scrap that idea. So then I thought, well, how much am I going to need for the sleeves? I'm going to need a significant amount for the sleeves, and I had enough of this dark green that you can see here, or turquoisey colour, to do the sleeves. So I thought, if I do the sleeves in a different colour altogether, because I have quite a lot of that colour left over, and then just add a couple of stripes of the green, it will kind of integrate the whole thing together. And also if I added the hood, because I didn't have enough of the dark turquoisey colour for the hood, I thought, well, I'm going to have to use another colour again, and I didn't think it would look right if I had another green on top of that. I thought that it would be kind of overkill having the other green colour, which was this green. I didn't think it would quite work, because those two greens or turquoisey colours that we use for the body and the sleeves kind of work together in terms of they go up in tone, if you get what I mean, whereas this isn't quite the same, it's not in the same colour range. So I thought it wouldn't be in keeping with what the idea or the way that I envisioned that little cardigan to work out. So I scrapped this was not going in, and I just decided to use the white for the hood. And then I thought, if I use the white for the hood to integrate the whole thing together, again I could use the green or turquoisey colour from the sleeve and make the hood look like kind of integrate into it by putting a stripe of that in there. So I think that all in all it turned out really well. I used that turquoise, dark turquoise colour for the stripe on the hood, and then for the rest of the button band, and it kind of brings it all together, and it doesn't look like I've run out of yarn, or I don't think it does. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but I think it turned out really, really well, and I'm super chuffed with it. And the parents-to-be absolutely love it. I put my little tag on the front and gifted that to them, and they absolutely love it. Oh, and some buttons, some little stripy buttons. So yeah, so that one went down well. And again, because I had leftover yarn from this particular project, from the blanket and from the cardigan, I decided to knit up some baby hug boots. Now these baby hug boots, I'll insert a picture up here, they go down really well. I've done them quite a few times now. Somebody gave me the pattern, or recommended the pattern to me, and I printed it off, had a go, and it's amazing how easy they are to do. So this is the pattern that I found. It's a free pattern available on Ravelry, and they are called Baby Hug Boots. That's what they look like. And I think they're super cute, and everybody that I've knitted these for absolutely loves them. So I thought I'd give it a go with this couple, and so I used this green, which again is the Sheepies yarn green. Not quite sure which colour this is now, because the labels are just all over the place. You have to check out my Ravelry page for the colours that I've used, if I've put it on there actually. Hopefully I've put the information on there. I'll try and do that after the video. But yeah, so I've done the hug boots out of that. So I used this green and the white to do the hug boots. The bottom, the sole of the boots is white, and then the actual foot is this colour, and then the cuff is this colour. So after I'd knit the first pair, I realised that I went and looked at the projects page for a number of other people's projects, and I realised that people were knitting them in the round. And I was thinking, well, how do you knit it in the round? Because the booties, the way that it's structured is that you seam it up the back of the boot, and then you seam it under the bottom. and it looks really nice when you seam in it. But then I saw that other people had knit it in the round, and I thought, I had to think about how I would do that. And somebody, one of the notes in the projects on Ravelry that I saw actually went into detail and explained that they did the Turkish cast on method to start off the boot, and then they continued up, and it was just literally all in the round from there, and there was no seaming involved. So for my second pair, which I don't have, I'm not sure I have a picture of. If I have a picture of the second pair of booties, I'll insert the picture up here. The second pair, I did them in the round. So the first ones in this colour are knit flat and seamed, and the second pair are knit in the round, which is this colour, which is plain. So they're, where is my phone? Maybe if I can, hopefully I have it on my phone. Give me a second and I'll see if I've got it on my phone, because I take all these little pictures and don't realise. Okay. Nope. No pictures of these ones on my phone. That's annoying. I might have to get them to send me a picture. Anyway, so once I decided, I figured out how to do it in the round. It's actually quite easy. So just do the Turkish cast on, or the Judy's Magic cast on, I think was the other one that was recommended, and to cast on half the amount of, well, there's not half the amount of stitches, the required amount of stitches, and then you just work it in the round from there. It's really cool. I really love them, and I'm really pleased with how they turned out. They did feel slightly different in shape, the ones that I've knit in the round to the ones that were not, because the front is not so rounded. It's more on the first, on the second pair, the front was a little bit more triangular feeling, but I guess once the baby's got their feet in, it won't really, you won't notice that. But yeah, they went down really well, and hopefully they will be big enough for baby to wear. So those are the hug boots. Then I went on to do the little mittens to go with them, and there wasn't really, I couldn't find a pattern that went with the hug ones. There wasn't a hug mittens, so I used the same designer, Mariana Lazy Days. These, what are these called? Ribbon bow baby mittens, but I didn't do the ribbons. I ignored the ribbons, and instead of doing the garter cuff, I just did a rib, 2x2 rib, for long enough to double it over, and that's what these turned out like. So I'm really pleased with those. What else was there? I knit the baby hat as well. There is a baby hug hat pattern that goes with the baby hug boots, but for some reason I can't find the paper pattern that I worked to, but it's by the same designer. Again, it is available on Ravelry and it is free, so I'll try and leave a link in the description box below to the video to that, so you can see that. So those are the little baby things that I have been knitting, all in the greens, and those are all my finished objects. I think that is all. Those are all the things I've finished this time round. The baby knits are quite quick, so I get through those quite quickly. I do have some other baby knits that I want to start working on. I've got some leftover pink yarn, so watch this space. There may be some other pink baby stuff coming round, and I may want to knit some blue soon, so we shall see. But anyway, those are my finished objects. Let's move into works in progress. Okay, for works in progress, I have been working a little bit since I finished the last video. I started and did a little bit of work on my Life is an Open Book story keep, which is a HAED piece, a Heaven and Earth Designs piece, designed with the artwork by Aimee Stewart. And I haven't done a huge amount on it, but I wanted to, let me see where I was last time. Last time round I had, I'm sorry, I've got it in the frame and I don't want to take it out. I'm being lazy, I don't want to take it out. Last time round I had just done a tiny bit up here. This time I have, sorry, this frame is really awkward to hold. I've done this section here, I've completed this blue section here, and I've done a lot more stitching up here. So I've tried to, using Pattern Keeper, which kind of sped me up a bit. I actually got a few days of use of Pattern Keeper that my son allowed, because he's the Kindle owner, and I had to kind of make a deal with him so I could use his Pattern Keeper and have a little bit of, get a little bit of work done on this. So I finished up this. I've been trying to work in squares basically along the top. I wanted to see how far this design went and just go to the end of that page. It only goes across to here. That's where the design will stop, so it will then go downwards, and that will be the whole of the top piece done. So yeah, I put a few stitches in here. This section here is all newly done, and this section, and I'm trying to fill in the top and work my way down so I can see the picture forming, and then move downwards in pages rather than trying to work across like that, because I want to kind of get to a point where I've completed all of this section, and then I can perhaps do that line across, that line of boxes across, and so on. So that's the intention. This is where I'm at, and yeah, and that's where I stopped. So put this to one side. The next thing I've been working on is this piece. I did a little bit on the Lakeside Village piece. So this one is by Dimensions. Oops, sorry for the glare. That's by Dimensions. Lakeside Village. And that's what it's going to look like when it's done. There you go, that's better. So let me just move the needle minders. I use my needle minders to hold it, to keep the fabric in place, to kind of protect the design that I've been stitching on. So I need to just move those out of the way. And then, right, I work with my pattern on here. Let me take that off. So this is where I've got to. I have been posting pictures on my Instagram page with updates, just in case I wasn't going to be able to do a video. So this is where I'm at. I had, last time round, I think I had this section. Let me just check. Just checking. I filled in this section here. So what's new is this bit. I've started to do the roof of the other building. So quite a lot of work has gone in on that. I spent, I think it was last weekend, I spent quite a bit of time filling in this section. Again, I'm trying to fill in blocks and move across, fill in the gaps and move across. So I've got a few gaps up here to fill in, here and here, and the intention would be to fill in the gaps and then move across, because what I've noticed is with this stitching I tend to lose count. I'm really rubbish at counting, it seems. So yeah, I make mistakes on the counting, and then some of the design is thrown out of sync, and that's what happened in this section here. So I've had to recount where things are, and so start working from the top bit and working downwards, and I find that then I'm more consistent in my counting. So this is done on 16 count Aida, I think it is. Is it on 16? Yeah, 16 count blue cotton Aida, and it's worked 2 over 1. Mainly the main design is 2 over 1, so these are all 4 crosses, and then the certain bits of the sky are half crosses. There's a lot of blended threads in here at times, so it takes a little bit more time to work on this one because I have to mix threads. So it's not complicated, it just takes a little bit more time and a little bit more concentration, but it is a fun stitch to do. This one, the Heaven and Earth design one, I forgot to mention, this is done on 25 count easy grid Lugana, and it is worked 1 over 1. So this is taking a long time. It takes a very long time just to do a small section. So yeah, so that one I've kind of having a rest from the HAED one, and this one I haven't worked on it since last weekend, so I may pick this one up again this weekend, but we shall see. But yeah, I am enjoying doing it. I think it's one of those things, sorry, I've just lost the backing for my needle minder. It's one of those projects where if you leave it for a while, then it takes a little bit of time to get back into the swing of it, into the mindset of having to think about the blended threads and stuff, because with the Dimensions kit, I'm not sure if you guys know, but for example, the Dimensions kit is a little bit more messy for me, because this is how my threads look. They come on these cards like this, with the colour names on, and so it's not as easy as having things on needle minders, but I'm at the point where I don't want to spend too much time trying to sort these threads out onto needle minders or bobbinate them or anything like that. So it does take a little bit more time to do things. So yeah, that's where that is. I mean, if I feel like it's just taking way too long and I want to just get this done, I may get to the point where I just put everything on a thread, what do you call it? Thread keeper. But yeah, for the time being, I'm just leaving it as it is. I don't want to mess up the flow, and so that one will take a little bit longer again. So I also have, so that's 2 cross stitch projects. My next project is again another cross stitch project. This one I forgot to mention in my last video. I think I mentioned it at the end of the last video. This is a caterpillar cross stitch along. So this is what it looks like. It's a stitch along, I think it's a 6-month one. Is it 6 months? I can't remember. I bought it a while ago, and I literally just wait for the design to come and I stitch it. I can't remember. I think it's about a six month stitch along. I'm working this project on 18 count Aida. It comes with 18 count, I think it's dirty Aida. The kit comes with the threads on a thread sorter, so that's really handy, and the fabric. Well, I bought it that way. I bought the kit as opposed to just buying the design. So I'm on, with this piece, I've done part 2, but part 3 has just been released. So this is where I'm at with this piece. So you've got an, how do I even hold this? Hold on a second, let's see if I can hold it up against this. So what you've got is an E. I think it's going to say create. I was watching Xstitchmd, and she mentioned that it looks like it's going to have the word create across it, and I think she's right, because we have an E here and an A here, and then in the most recent update there's an R, so it's going to say create. So we've got a camera, a jigsaw piece, a button, scissors, some thread, a paintbrush, a crochet hook, a pencil I think that was, and a ball of wool, and another button. So that's where I have got to with this piece. Again, I'm stitching this 2/1 and it's 18 count Aida. I'm not really ready to start part 3 yet, but it has just been released, so I've got time to do that and to catch up with everybody else. But yeah, it's an enjoyable stitch. But the one that I'm really into right now, oh, this is a needle minder by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. It's the koala one. I ordered that on their website. Information in the description box below the video. This one, so this project is called the Made to Create SAL, which means stitch along, and that's what it is. So yeah, I need to start part 3, but the one that I'm really engaged with and I'm really hooked on is my African Lady one. But actually, let me show you the other one that I started. before going on to that one, because that's my last project. So I got this Margaret Sherry Cute Hedgehog card kit with a magazine, I think, with Cross Stitch Crazy it says, probably a long time ago, or maybe, yeah, must have been a while ago. I got this and I thought, I'd seen on Instagram, there's a person called, a stitcher on Instagram called Jane Kerr, and she does, she's got lots of little motif kind of designs that she posts on her Instagram page, and I thought, do you know what, I'd really like to do that, just to do like an in-betweeny type project that I can get finished quickly. That's what I thought, finish it quickly. So, so I got, it comes with, because it's a, I think it was a sample that comes with the magazine, and because of that it comes with the threads, which I've put on a thread sorter, and it comes with the little card to put it with, and yeah, so there it is. I stitched it all up. I made probably quite a few mistakes here. I haven't done the back stitching. I've only done a little bit of the back stitching, and then I kind of ran out of steam. Because on the design there's a lot, I don't know if you can see it, there's quite a lot of back stitching to do around the hedgehog, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, do I really want to do that just now? Nah, I'm gonna leave that for a while, I'll come back to that later. And then I look at it again and I think, yeah, I could do the back stitching now, and I'm like, nah, don't really feel like doing that just yet. So it's just been sitting there since I finished the design. It's just sat there waiting for me to do the back stitching. I will get round to it at some point, but for now I'm just like not feeling that, not really in the mood to do the back stitching on that particular piece. And because it's such a small piece, I don't have anything to hold it, you know, like I don't have a ring, an embroidery hoop to hold it on or anything like that, and so I'm having to stitch in hand, so it takes me a little bit longer as well. So that's part of the reason why I've just kind of, I'll do that when I get round to it. So the projects that I have really been engaging with, that I'm really kind of hooked on, I guess, is the African Tribal Lady project. After the video last time, this is the design. After the last video I started this project and I have found it so difficult to put it down. I'm really enjoying stitching on this. This is called African Tribal Lady 6 number 426. I found this on Etsy, STG Stitch UK there, and I loved the look of it, so I thought I would give it a go. So it comes, I ordered it on Etsy, and I just got the, I just paid for the design. It wasn't a kit, it was just the design, which is fine. I ordered my anchor threads because it's an anchor thread piece, although I think she said that she can give you the, what do you call it, conversions. She can do the conversions for you, and in fact she did provide in the with the design the anchor to dimensions conversion chart. So in case I did want to use DMC, I could do that because she provided that chart. I didn't even have to ask for that. So the chart is printed on A3 paper. I can't show you the chart itself, but nice big size paper, so that was helpful. And I don't use the original chart to work from. I do a copy of it and then I work from the copy. So I'm working on 14 count Ada, and I can't remember what colour this, maybe it's on my Ravelry, I can't remember what colour it is. I think this one is antique. I mentioned that, not antique, dirty. I think I said that the caterpillar cross stitch one was dirty. I don't think that's right. I think that's antique. I think this one is dirty. Yeah, that's the colour dirty. Caterpillar cross stitch one doesn't say the colour. Never mind. I could figure that out at some point. Anyway, so if I take it out of the hoop, I've done a little bit of stitching on this today, so you will get the most up-to-date update, as it were, of this piece. So this is worked on 14 count Aida in the colour Dirty, and as you've seen from the picture, it's in portrait, so it goes lengthwise, and I have done quite a lot on this. There we are. Oh wow, that looks even better like that on camera. Oh my gosh, I'm loving the way that looks on the camera. Gosh, it's like looking at it, just looking at it close up, I can see, I like the way it looks close up, but seeing that in my viewfinder on the camera, that actually looks so much better as from a distance. Wow, I love the way that looks. So you can see the colours here. This is what it looks like. So I've been working, well, I've done all of this, I think, since the last time I shared. I don't even know, did I do this? I can't remember, I'm so sorry. I don't think I had, maybe I'd only done part of this section in the last video. I'll try and get a picture up here of where I was last time round, so you can make the comparison. But I've done quite a lot. I've been really enjoying this, and I was like, I did a piece of the earring and I got excited to finish the ear. Then I started stitching this way, and I did some of the eye. I saw the eye peeping through, and I got excited to complete the eye because I could see the eye forming, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've got an eye coming through, I've got an eye coming through. So I really was excited to finish that. So then when I'd done that, I started to work upwards, and then I saw some colour up here, and I thought, oh, I'm getting the headband. I'm getting the headband bit of the head wrap. So I got excited about, it's just been excitement, excitement, excitement all the way along. So I get pops of colour, and it's just like, wow, I'm so excited to just complete that section of colour so I can see the headdress forming. And so instead of going upwards, because the headdress goes upwards now, I'm not working upwards. I'm trying to get to a point, let me see, what I'm trying to do, again, just like with the other pieces, I'm trying to fill in the gaps that I have. So I have gaps here and there, but this morning I started working on this section, and I've been working across and trying to fill in any gaps that I have here, and then I will do these two boxes here and try and fill in this gap as well. So I'll fill in all of this and move across to the next, fill in all of that and move across, and then fill in all of that. And then once I've done all of this section, I think I may just go back up to the headdress and get back to the colour, because that is really exciting, seeing all the colours come through there. And yeah, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving this piece. And this is what the back looks like. Not too bad, I think. I have been carrying threads, and I know that's kind of not great, but you know what? No one's going to see the back when it's finished. But that's how it's been going. I was watching Darren Dizzy Stitcher. I like to watch his stitch with me, so if you're interested in seeing other people that do full coverage work, check out Darren, whose channel name is Dizzy Stitcher. He does a lot of full coverage projects, as does Angela, who is known as Stitching Brit. She does full coverage. But Darren was saying how when he's doing his stitch with me's, I've noticed that he does a lot of pin stitch to start and finish threads. So with this piece, I've been practicing finishing threads with the pin stitch instead of having to turn the work over and then pull through the last few stitches. I just do a pin stitch on the front and then move on. And I feel that because the project is full coverage, even if you can see where I've done a pin stitch, I don't think you can see it on here. I don't think I've got any examples to show you. Maybe there, down here, if you can see a pin stitch, if you can see where I've done a pin stitch, it's not going to show through afterwards, because I will stitch over that when I'm completing the rest of the design, because it's full coverage. There are no gaps in this piece, so it's easier to hide the pin stitches. So all of these pin stitches which I've done along here, when I move across that way, they will be covered, so you won't see that anyway, because the design does work. Yeah, just checking, the design does go across that way. So actually I may have to think I may have to think again, so there's the design, I may have to think again about the direction that I go in, just to kind of make sure that I've not got any change in colour where I've worked on this section and then added the new section, so it's not so obvious that I've just done this. I may have to think about starting up here actually. Yeah. What do you guys do if you're doing a full coverage piece? Because I started in the middle of the design and then worked outwards. Yeah, started in the middle here and worked outwards just to get the centre of the fabric, as you're instructed to do with cross stitch patterns or charts. But now looking at this, I'm thinking actually I have seen people talk about the way that if you add a piece on here after working this, you can see a difference in where the last piece was finished and where your new piece has started. So I may actually have to come back up here and work this section outwards so that it's not so obvious where one lot of stitching started and one lot of stitching ended. Let me know what you guys think. What's your experience of working in this way? But yeah, I'm super chuffed with how this is turning out. That's what it looks like close up. And from a distance, it almost looks photographic. I'm loving the way that looks. Yeah, so that is it. Those are my cross stitch projects and my knitting projects. I have, actually, I've just lost my needle, haven't I? Sorry, let me just pop this on the needle minder. I'm not sure where that one came from. Hopefully did it come from that piece? Oh, I know where that's from. That's from Lakeside Village. So what I have done, I've done a bit of crocheting. I nearly forgot to mention this. So I've been working on this granny square. This is my scrappy granny square blanket, and I've just added in leftover yarn. So the idea is I have double knit yarns, and I use 2 strands of double knit yarn to work on this blanket, or 1 strand of double knit and then a strand of whatever it is I've got. If it's 4-ply sock yarn, then that's what I'll use. Currently, sorry about that, I have to be quick. So the blanket is knit with two strands of yarn. So basically it's a granny square blanket that I'm working just a square and just going round and round like that. And I'm using up all the leftover yarns that I've had. So the green here that you can see here is a new addition, and that is from the, gosh, that blanket and the baby stuff, the baby knits and the blanket, the crochet blanket. And I've added that in, so it's starting to get a bit lighter. I've just used up the baby knits, leftover baby knits in there, and that's what it's looking like. It's quite big, but I still want it to be a bit bigger so that it's kind of more of a throw. And then I will decide where to send this, because this is a charity blanket. Hopefully that's the intention. The intention is for this blanket to go to charity once it's completed. And I'm onto a light blue yarn, and then I'll probably use the leftover, some of this leftover to do that, unless I can get a hat out of this, but I may just use it for this blanket just to finish up that, because I don't know about you, but I get a bit bored of using the same colours and the same yarns over and over and over again in succession. If I put it down and come back to it later, I may be able to find a different use for this, but I'm kind of all greened out now, so I think I may just throw it into this blanket and yeah, do a bit more on this. But yeah, that is it. That is where I have got to. That's everything I have been working on. I have a little bit of incoming, so let me move this stuff out of the way and then I will share that with you. Okay, first of all, last time round I mentioned some needle threaders that I bought on Amazon and I couldn't find them at all. This is what I was talking about. These needle threaders here, metal ones, so they look like this. They're kind of like little umbrellas. And the large hook is for larger amounts of thread, I guess, and then the other end is for smaller amounts of thread. and you just get your thread. Let me see. Put your needle on first, put your thread on, pull your needle off, and it threads the needle, and there you go. That's what happens. Very simple to use. I do find at times with this one, it does actually, with this metal, it's quite sharp, so it does actually cut the thread sometimes when I'm pulling the needle off, so you have to be quite gentle with it when you're using it. But yeah, those are the needle minders that I was talking about. I've just tipped them all over the floor. Not needle minders, needle threaders. I've just tipped them all over the floor. I will clear that up in a minute. So the other incoming things I have are, as I mentioned earlier, 2 stockings. So I bought 2-dimension kits because I want to do 2 more stockings, and I bought cute carolers. I'd seen someone working on that on Instagram, and I thought I would like this design. So that's what it looks like. Cute little snowman with some animal carolers at the bottom, and it's a cross stitch kit. 14 count white Aida, and it comes with everything inside it, all the threads there. And the second one is another cross stitch kit, and it's Santa's Sidecar Stocking. This one is not full coverage, so these bits here, the fabric is blue Aida, so as with the Holiday Hooties one, the blue bits are bits that are not going to be stitched, so it's just the colourful bits, so it's a partial. And again, it comes with all the threads and the fabric inside the kit and the needle. So I am thinking that it would be nice to actually do another one like this one, a tapestry one, because this one I guess would be quicker than the cross stitch, the full cross stitch kit. But you know, I like trying new things, and I haven't done a complete full coverage. This one's full coverage, cross stitch stocking, so I'm going to give that a go, see how I get on, and that is it. So those are all the things I've been working on. That's everything I have to show you this time around. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or tips or suggestions, or you just want to chat, you can do that in the comment section below the video. I will, as I said, try to remember to fill in the information about all the things I've shown you in the description box below the videos, so do look down there for any information. If you have any questions, then feel free to leave those in the comment section below the video, and I'll do my best to answer those as well. But for now, I'm going to say ciao, and I will see you in about a month's time. Thanks for watching, and see you soon. Bye for now.